chapter starts and we see Jangi take a deep breath and say, I don't want to get involved, no matter how tempting your offer is. If I step into this power struggle, I and the people I care about will be in danger. Uncle Dang shook his head. Don't worry. I won't ask you to fight anyone. As long as you do your job well, that's enough. He looked at Jangi and said clearly, what I want is to complete this mission well and perfect then Samsara team. That's enough for me. Jangi suddenly understood that Uncle Dang's real goal was to stop Gao Chongkong from moving up. Do you not trust Gao Chongkong? It's not just him, Uncle Dang replied seriously. This job has to be done by you, and then you'll become a key person for us. Someone killed my nephew because they wanted to take advantage of this and change everything in Blizzard City. My old man will never agree to that. If you, someone from outside, handle this, Blizzard City's power won't be completely changed. Jangi didn't fully believe what Uncle Dang said. The other man was very tricky, and he was a lot better at schemes than Jangi was. If Jangi believed everything Uncle Dang said, he could end up being tricked. But you're saying you're helping me and my team get stronger so we can win against Eclipse team and earn a lot of credit. You don't want someone else to take that credit, right? Yes, exactly. Uncle Dang nodded. Whoever wins the Eclipse team will get the highest respect in Blizzard City. And since they're from Neon, they're seen as very special. You understand, right? Jangi understood. It made sense. The Deng family had gone through a lot, and they were afraid that if the power in Blizzard City changed, it would be bad for them. If no one else could get the big credit, the Deng family could slowly get back to a stable position. Jangi was also very curious about how Uncle Dang planned to help his team get stronger. How are you going to do that? Are you going to use the X compound? But Uncle Dang smiled in a way that didn't seem friendly. He looked like someone who might be hiding something. That stuff won't help you much. It's for the people around you. Jangi was confused. Huh? Isn't it supposed to be good for me? Uncle Dang said, after many battles, you've actually collected a lot of power from different mutant beings. I was shocked when I first heard about it. It's really rare to train someone as powerful as you in the outer city, but you did it. It's like a miracle, Uncle Dang said, even though I don't know exactly what you've gone through. It's clear that you've reached a point where it's hard to get any stronger. At this point, just taking in more mutant power won't help much. Of course, the X compound can't fix this either. He picked up a small teacup from the table and said, this cup is like your strength. It can only hold so much water. No matter how much more you try to add, it just overflows. Jangi quickly understood. You mean the limit? Uncle Dang nodded with a smile. Exactly. Jangi thought of Deng Shantong, who had reached a similar limit. He shook his head with a teasing smile and said, you haven't figured out how to break through this yet, have you? If you could, Deng Shantong wouldn't just have Delta-level strength. When Deng Shantong was mentioned, Uncle Dang sighed. Yes, he's at a limit. Delta is the highest he can go. We've been trying to break that barrier to make him even stronger, but the genetic world is something even gods can't fully control. It's too difficult for ordinary people to touch. The same goes for you. Even though your strength is almost as strong as the investigation captain's now, it's hard to improve quickly. So the best option is to help your team members get stronger. Uncle Dang poured himself a cup of tea and, while drinking, looked out the window. He could see Liang Yu, who was in the next room. To become stronger, you need a container that's big and strong enough to hold all that energy. Otherwise, it won't work. Not everyone can handle this kind of experiment. You need someone with the right abilities and a strong mind. He looked at Liang Yu again. Your teammate, Liang Yu, is like a precious gem. If she can develop her skills, she could become just as strong as you. Uncle Dang looked at Jangi, but he didn't say what was on his mind. He knew that Liang Yu had even more potential for growth than Jangi. After all, it took a lot of strength and skill to become a bodyguard for such important people. What about Jangi? He was just a small warehouse manager in Tianhai City. Even though he was talented, he couldn't compare to someone like Liang Yu, who had been trained hard since childhood. So what do you think, Jangi? Do you want to accept my help? It will only benefit you, no harm at all. To win the battles ahead, you'll also need people you can trust. Jangi looked down at Uncle Dang's shoes, his face slightly worried, and thought to himself, can he trust Uncle Dang? It was hard to say, but it was clear that this was a big chance for him. If nothing had happened to Deng Shuntong, the Deng family wouldn't be able to help him at all. It would be a shame to miss out on this. Uncle Deng didn't rush Jangi. Instead, he said kindly, you should really think this over. After all, you don't know us well, so it's normal to be unsure. But this is a rare chance for you. I hope you don't miss out on a great future. Jangi took a deep breath and said, I need some time to think. It won't take long. Please give me a little time. Uncle Deng smiled and said, Of course. Take your time. Since Jangi was still unsure, he decided to go talk to Yin Shinshin about it. Jangi quickly went to the lounge next door and found Yin Shinshin and Liang Yu. He asked them to come over and talk about the situation in private. This was a big opportunity, and he didn't want to waste time. The Eclipse team would come back someday, so every moment counted. To make a choice, he had to be fast. After hearing Jangi's explanation, Liang Yu was suddenly interested. The Deng family must know a lot about genetic technology, especially when it comes to mutants. It's said that the genetic potions in Blizzard City were developed with their help. Liang Yu wanted to get stronger. She then said to Jangi, I'm willing to try. I'll take responsibility for the risks. Let me try it first, and if it works and has no bad side effects, then others can try it too. Jangi looked at her and asked, Are you always this brave? After some thought, Jangi nodded firmly and went back to Uncle Deng's study to show his decision. We are willing to accept the Deng family's help, he said.